Hello everybody, it's William here. Welcome to my channel. So this will be a pretty short video because someone asked me how to do a floor without actually showing the blue like a carpet thing, and yeah, let me just yeah, show you guys how to do that. So basically, this trick solves the problem of say if I tap it, I generate a cube, and then when it detect the collision, it will just turn that to a sphere, right? And then if the sphere just falling off this plane, we're just falling down, okay? Just falling down to the I don't know where, just falling down and then just disappeared. But we sometimes we sort of want to fix a certain object, a certain entity, and we just want to put it on the ground, but we don't want to show a sort of like a fake blue ground, blue carpet, like we did in the previous lecture. So how to do that? Pretty simple. We're going to use the occlusion material. If you haven't learned occlusion, I have a series of videos. So you go back to my YouTube's playlist and you search Augmented Reality. You click that playlist, you search for occlusion. I've already made a video about that. So without further ado, let's just do that. Let's just get to it. So basically, yes, this is the previous tutorial's code. If you don't know how to do that, you can watch my previous tutorial, and I will update that to my GitHub so you can just use it. And yeah, basically, if you don't want to look at the previous code, it's totally fine. I just let me just yeah, go to the content view. I just create a plane and a plane anchor, and adding physical body to the plane, and using a collision shape to just wrap it around and add that to the AR view, and adding all these gestures so it can receive the tab, and yeah, just using coordinate to do that. And inside the coordinator, we so every time I tap that, I got a raycast, I got generate a box, and the box has physics body, you get a collision, and the position just 1 meter above the ground, and we got this collision component to it. And so when they collide, we send the events begin and end. When the collision begins, and I'm going to change that to a different shape using the general sphere, so the cube becomes a sphere. And when the collision ended, I'm going to just stick that stick that shape, and of course the color will be yellow, because previously, as you guys can see, I commented a few lines of code out previously in order for you guys to see it more clearly. I'm going to change the material, so every time they collide, just switch the back and forth the material. Basically just change the color so you guys can see the flickering. So every time it flicks, it's just in a period of a collision. So yeah, so far so good. And then we're going to go back to our content view to get this plane working, because right now it's a pretty fake plane, right? And we don't want that. We want this plane to be a sort of transparent, but do have the functionality of a collision. So instead of just using a plane, I'm going to use a sort of fake floor. So it's just like a mind trick. You think there's the floor, but in fact it's just another entity, and yeah, and you tap it, you generate it, and you just collide with that entity. Okay, so add plane anchor. Yeah, let me just comment everything out, and let's write the code here. Okay, I'm using Copilot as well as the Visual Studio Code to do that. So it become pretty easy for me to write a lot of code. So AR view sync anchor plane anchor. We don't want that. So let's comment it out. AR view. We add gesture. So yeah, basically we just leave the AR view here and add a gesture here. Let's write our code here. Okay. So once I install all the gestures, I'm going to generate a invisible floor. Invisible floor. Okay, this is just like a mind trick. So you thought there's nothing there, but in fact there is an invisible floor here. So invisible floor. Did I spell that correctly? I'm not so sure about that, but yeah. Model entity mesh generate a plane. Yeah, we can see generate plane occlusion material. That's pretty good. So occlusion material. Okay, so yeah, just change the plane, and this plane will be pretty big. Okay, so 100. I think 100 is already big enough. X and Y 100, right? But you're using occlusion material, so you won't be able to see it. Okay, and then yeah, position, invisible floor position. Yeah, I don't think we need that invisible floor position. We already got a model entity to generate that, so I can just grab that invisible floor. Okay, and I'm going to add the collision shape. So generate collision shape and wrap it. Recursive true. This is pretty standard stuff. And of course, I'm going to give this invisible floor a physics body to it, and that will be our physics body component. Yes, that's pretty smart. Copilot just get me everything. Mass default, yeah, good. Material default generate mode, yeah. Do make it static, so you just stay here without actually moving. And I'm going to get a invisible floor anchor. Visible floor anchor. Yep. Did I comment out the anchor? Yeah, we haven't got this anchor. So I'm going to just grab this and generate a anchor here. So let's a invisible floor anchor and the horizontal. That's perfect. So we generate that anchor, and we can grab that anchor here, and I'm going to add child. Okay, add child invisible floor. So add that to the anchor, and of course I'm going to add that to the AR view as well. So AR view thing, yeah. I think I'm going to use add anchor. Anchor append is also yeah, acceptable. So add anchor, invisible floor anchor. Yeah. Then let's test it out. Hopefully it can work. Alright, a moment of truth. So even though you can't see any floor here, alright, it's just a sort of occlusion material, so it's a see-through. And moment of truth, when I tap it, there is a cube falling down, and when they hit the ground, seemingly they hit the ground, but in fact they just hit the invisible floor, and they bounced up and become a sphere. The reason I use the cube and change that to sphere is that I want you guys to see the collision clearly. So when they change the mesh, is the time when they actually hit the ground, hit the collision. Okay, I already got a lot of the cube down, and yeah, this looks pretty good. And did you guys see the see this green reflection here. It reflects this green background. I think that is pretty good. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. So if you want to use a AR scene and you don't want to show the floor, you can just use this method by change the floor to an invisible floor. Okay, so and you give it collision, but yeah, let's go back to here. You give it collision, right? You give it collision shape. You give it physical body, but you do not give it a simple material, any material or any texture, but rather use a occlusion material. So it's still there, but it won't be visible to the user. Okay.